Hey everybody, this is Lapis Lauri, and I'm going to show you today how to do a quick little Photoshop tutorial on how to do this interesting layered text right here. And because I've had a lot of requests on how to do it, and it doesn't take very long, it's very quick, and I'll just show you how to do it real quick, okay? You've just in the design workspace, it's the default, whatever that comes up, and you have your tools over here on the left, and however you want your layers and characters arranged over here. But it's just a multi-layered text. What you do is you start with a screenshot of whatever you want, and you're going to go to your selection tool, and your fixed ratio needs to be 16 wide and 9 high, which is a YouTube default for whatever your thumbnail is going to be. And you hold your shift button and you drag and drop to wherever you want. Now, if you leave it on the selection tool, you can move this around to wherever you want it to be. And so I'm just going to kind of leave it here, or you can Command D on a Macintosh, or you can deselect it. So you shift and drag, and you can get to whatever you want to. Let's just kind of get rid of this foreground here. I'm just going to leave it at the very edge of that, and my sword. We're going to leave the house here, and a little bit of my background. And so you go to Image, Crop. So you've got a 16:9 ratio, the default for YouTube. Now, you know, I have not noticed anything if you've got a big snapshot, if you've got a little snapshot, it doesn't seem to matter because they just size it accordingly. I'm sure there's a default size for it, a minimum, but we're going to go through how to make it file size a little bit better for YouTube. So what we've got here, let me show you what I use. This is my most recent release, and this is my grouping that I have, and it's basically 3 layers. This one's doesn't count. We'll just throw that away right now because I don't use it. So let's take it away. So we have one layer here that's once lost, and it's got a big black outline to it. If you notice, it's got effects, it's got a gradient overlay, which doesn't even really matter, and it's got a large stroke. And then we're going to go another one on top, and this one has a white stroke, if you see that. So it's the bottom one has a black stroke that's really wide. The second layer, the one on top of that, has a white stroke that's not as wide as the black. And then you have your final layer that has the stroke, a little bit of a drop shadow to give it depth in between. We'll make it a little bit larger so you can really see that. So if we take the drop shadow off, it kind of gives it that little bit of depth there. And it does have a stroke, which is black, and it has a gradient overlay. So my base color is this nice diamond turquoise, and then if you do a gradient overlay, what it does is it gives it a little bit of highlight in the middle. So that's basically how you do that. So let's go through the steps on how to do it. I usually just drag it over to my new thumbnail, but we'll go ahead and make a new one for you. So let's just call this awesome. This is going to be our awesome thumbnail. And as I said, we need to have, let's just make it white. And it needs to have a stroke applied. So we're going to go down here to our FX panel in the bottom right corner of the palette. We're going to stroke it. And it's going to be outside, and let's make it 6. And let's see how that does. It's not quite big enough, so let's just take it like this. Oh, that's too big. Like there. How about that? Okay. So now we're going to duplicate the layer. Not delete, cancel. We're going to duplicate. Duplicate the layer. Yep. And now on this one, our stroke, you just double click it and it brings up the options palette for that. It's 24, let's make it 20. And then our stroke color, we're going to make it white. Nope, cancel. Make sure the stroke's applied. Did I make that? Let's bring it way down. Because the text is white, that's why. Okay. Let's make the text red so you can see it. So now you can see where the white stroke is on that. We could probably make that a little bit wider. Because we do want it to show outside the 3rd layer. So let's do, again, duplicate the layer. And then we're going to make our stroke, once again, black. And we're going to make it half that again, so 5. So now you can see the 3 layers in action. And then we can go back to our FX again, and we can do a gradient overlay. And as it goes default black and white, you double click this gradient bar and you can select whatever colors you've got here. You could do whatever preset colors. I like to start with the black and white and then select my color that I want to use. Let's go with, we'll go down here a little bit, this cool diamond color. You know, it's Minecraft. And you can add colors. You can move these sliders to wherever you want them to be. A little bit darker or lighter. You can bring them really close together for a hard edge. And there's ways to overlay things so that they are more transparent than others, but we're not going to really go into that today. This is just a quick little tutorial. So, and you can just click here for whatever you want to do, and you can drag them off if you've got too many. And here's the cool part, is you can click this color and go in and select that, but that's going to select your base color. So you're going to have to go ahead and, let's do this. You can option click, I believe, and make a duplicate. So now we've got it right in the middle. Can drag it around because you could see it here in the side where it's going to be. And then the other thing we're going to do for this is give it a drop shadow, and you can adjust your spread. I like to make it not multiply, which makes it transparent. I like to make it actually an overlay or on normal, and then you can really see it. So you increase your size, you can kind of see where that's going to go, your distance, and you can really make it look like it's popping out of the page if you want to. And that is how you do multi-layer text. And you select all three. You hold your shift button and go 1, 2, 3, and then you can do Command G to group it. All right, the other thing I said I was going to do is we were going to save this for web usage. Now, the file size as it is now, let's just have a look at that. File, save as. I'm going to go have it, the lava house, we're going to save it to the desktop. And it's a Photoshop document. Let's save it as just a plain old JPEG, okay? And it's just going to be whatever the default options are. We're going to reduce that. Let's go here to the JPEG and see what size that is. That's 500K. Now that's manageable, but anything for the web needs to be under 200. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open up that Photoshop document again, and we're going to go File, Save for Web and Devices. We've got it on the JPEG high setting here. If you look at this one, it's medium, and then in this bottom corner, it's going to be, should be JPEG low, is what that's going to be. Let's go here to JPEG low. And if you look, you've got file size of 120, 63, and 39, because it's 60 quality, 30 quality, and 10 quality. Now, here's the difference with this. If you go Command plus to make it a little bit bigger, what you're going to end up seeing is dithering when you do a Photoshop document. And you see here it's really pixelated and it gets kind of grayish. That's not very good quality. And for 120, we're cutting our size way, way down. So let's just save that. And we're going to save it. It's images only, and so we're going to resave it to our desktop, and it's going to replace the existing one. And then we're going to have one that's suitable for web usage. Alright everybody, this has been Lapis Lauri, and again, I hope you enjoyed this little quick tutorial on how to do layered text, and we'll see you next time.